Hello all, this is Halloween, and if you love creating costumes and dressing up as much as I do, you may want to subscribe because I'm going to be showing you how to make some awesome costumes without breaking the bank, maybe even using some items you already have at home. In today's episode, I want to get you ready for that next themed party. Today we'll be focusing on the 1970s and a few of the most iconic women of fashion in the 70s. Let's get started. I know it's been a while. We're getting started now with Joni Mitchell. Joni Mitchell was an iconic boho chic kind of hippie folk singer back in the 1970s. She started her career, I believe, even in the 60s. I don't know if she's performing or not because she's actually like in a wheelchair now and just in a poor state of health, but she performed for many years. She had a career that spanned decades, and she was an iconic singer in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and so on. And she had a very boho style, like bohemian, hippie, sort of Moroccan inspired style. And she was known for that. And I think she kind of paved the way for the, hippie girls in her time period. That said, in today's episode, I wanted to take a bunch of stuff I already had to create these looks. And that's exactly what this is. I only had to buy a couple of things for one of our people that we will be portraying today. But as far as everything else, like this entire outfit came from my closet. I have a fringy skirt. This is a faux suede fringe skirt. A suede belt with beads. I have just some jewelry pieces that I'm going to wear for her. Lots of necklaces. It was, like I said, it's a lot like Janis Joplin even. Very boho, very kind of Moroccan. I have a beanie here, which she wore a lot of beanies. I have a wig that I'm going to wear. If she was wearing shoes, they would have been something like this. This is a pair of shoes that I got from Wild Pair, probably in the 90s. And every time I was doing like a hippie look, I would always wear them. I've had them for a long time. And then I have just a sort of hippie vest. Now, this is an authentic hippie vest. It is suede leather. And my mom found this, I think, in a consignment shop or something. And it's like the real deal. So that's what I'm going to be wearing to do Joni Mitchell. Let's get started with our makeup, which, by the way, is not much. She was very natural. Hey there, I know it's been a while. Don't be concerned. It was just a crazy year. For most Floridians, myself included, it's just 2024 has not been the best. I had to navigate around what I was going to do, what I wasn't going to do, and give myself a little time for healing and just rest, to be honest with you, because it just was a wild year. We had 2 hurricanes back to back. Then I was talking to my son on the phone, and he had been living with his grandparents for a while. He had a bad breakup with his ex-boyfriend, and I could tell he wasn't feeling well. So I just said, hey, come over, live with me until you get on your feet, and I'll get you a job working where I work. And I'm only saying this, I think I've said it in previous episodes, but I don't know which episodes everybody's watching. So I wanted to make sure the message got out to everybody that I had not quit, that I was not neglecting you or anything. I had priorities and things that I needed to do for myself and my family, and so that I can get in a better mindset to continue to do this. And I'm sure you understand. So we're doing Joni Mitchell. I love Joni Mitchell. Her music is absolutely beautiful. It's like a mix of folk and almost like a yodeling. If you haven't heard of Joni Mitchell, I'm sure you've heard her in commercials or jingles. The Counting Crows did a rendition of Big Yellow Taxi. That is her song. A Case of You was featured in Practical Magic. So when Nicole Kidman is driving in her car and she's singing that song, I could drink a case of you. And that is Joni Mitchell's song. So Joni Mitchell is actually really awesome. If you haven't heard of her or you haven't explored any of her music, I would recommend starting with the album Blue. Joni Mitchell is also an artist, like a painter. She has artwork. I don't know if she has it displayed anywhere or if she's just doing it for personal reasons, but I have watched interviews where she talks about painting, and I didn't know she's actually a heavy smoker, and she's been smoking pretty much all of her life. Like I said, I think she's in a wheelchair now. I don't know really what's going on with her. She's got some health issues going on right now. She, I believe, is in her late 70s. Maybe even early 80s right now. I don't know. She's getting up there. I don't think she's performing anymore, but she's enjoying a life of leisure, just painting her paintings and writing poetry, and that's what she's always done. So Joni Mitchell's a really cool person to check out, and if you want to check out one of her albums, Blue is an amazing album. It's a really amazing, it was one of her breakout albums, so I would check that one out. Joni Mitchell, Blue. I'm not going to do a lot of makeup for her, and I already did some. I did my eyebrows, just normal, like I would normally do. I put some white eyeliner because she actually had big, doughy eyes. She has beautiful big eyes. And then I did a little mascara, the foundation, all that. And now I'm going to go in and kind of contour around my cheekbones because she had a very high cheekbone. So I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to put on a little lipstick, and we're going to go get dressed and take some photos. So I'm just going to go around where I actually have high cheekbones as well. Maybe not as high as hers, but I have high cheekbones. So boy, I went dark with that. But in pictures, it's going to look good. Now, all of these women I'm portraying today are way thinner than me, so just disregard the fluffiness. Again, I'm working on it, but here we are another year later, and nothing much has changed. I think the universe is just like making things happen, so it makes me ill-motivated. It's crazy, these hurricanes. I live in Florida. I've lived in Florida my whole life. I'm 43 this year, and I've never seen anything like it. The hurricanes were no joke. They were, if you're not around any place that has natural disasters normally like that, it was so uncharacteristic of our Florida, the Florida that we live in. When we here on the west coast of Florida have never experienced anything like that, at least not in over 100 years. And for that to come and then just hit back to back like that, and really, Debbie wasn't tame. Hurricane Debbie came before that, and that one was strong winds, and I'm sure there was some damage done with her. So after that, we get Helene and then Milton, and it was just like a triple threat. It was crazy. People that I know lost everything. You know, they have to start all over again, basically. And I don't personally know that kind of devastation. It didn't happen to us. But just knowing that people that I love are going through it, it's the equivalent of it's almost the equivalent of going through it myself. I can't say it's the equivalent, but you hate and you hurt. You hate that it's happened to them, and you hurt because it's happened to them, and you just can't get yourself in the right mindset to be motivated for anything. I'm just gonna highlight the apples on my cheek. I'm just using this Ulta Beauty palette. You can use whatever you got. Kind of go in here. She was very fresh faced. Let's see if we can see. We dim the lights a little bit. Yeah. Now we're just gonna go in with a lip gloss, kind of like a nude lip for her. She had kind of a big mouth. She has a big mouth. She's still with us. I tend to talk about her in past tense because that's kind of when she was really popular. But you definitely hear her influence on singers. I would say Sarah McLachlan was influenced by her big time. Maybe Alanis Morissette. Dolores O'Riordan of the Cranberries probably was influenced by her. She had that yodeling sort of aspect to her voice. And I would definitely say that at least those singers were influenced by her, and probably many more. She's an integral part of music history for sure. That's it. That's Joni Mitchell. Let's go get on our costume. So if you can't already tell, our next look of the day is going to be Stevie Nicks. Now, Stevie Nicks was very kind of beatnik, boho chic too, but she had sort of a Wiccan element to her appearance and her iconic look. And her music carried out those same essences. So for Stevie, we're going to have a top hat and a beanie. I have some platform black boots. I have a belt. Just a kind of flowy top with a lace back in it. I don't know if you can really see it. Everything's black, so just flowy. It's got kind of like a tulip sleeve. It's got a cutout back with lace. Very Stevie. My cats are driving me nuts. Look, Nico, she's all over the place. I've got a lace pantyhose, a blazer. She liked to wear blazers. She still wears a lot of blazers to this day. She looks super chic in them, and I don't know, it's just part of her style. Fat black belt, flowy tuliped skirt at the bottom. Black flowy skirt with a tuliped sort of ruffled bottom. Something very Stevie. And that's it. I actually have a pair of black gloves. I'm going to rock too, because she's all about the gloves. She's all about the goth. She was the original goth girl. If you look at a lot of Stevie Nicks' past outfits, even what she wears today, she's still very goth, very Wiccan. There was chatter about her in the past about her being a Wiccan. I don't know if that's true or not. I think she's denied any claims of that. But she's definitely, the original goth girl. So we're going to portray her today. Let's get our makeup on. For Stevie, I've left my base on, which was my Joni Mitchell look. I'm going right into Stevie from this base. Stevie Nicks does have nice cheekbones and everything, so it's not much of a contrast or not much of a transition from one to the next is what I should say. So I've got a white liner on. I had the same white liner on for Joni Mitchell because Stevie Nicks too has very large kind of round eyes. Anytime you have a character with larger, rounder eyes, you can accentuate that feature with white liner on your waterline. So what I'm going to do from here is not much actually. I'm going to go with a nude shimmer on my eyelid. Just like that. Now I've always loved Stevie Nicks. I actually had maybe kind of an opportunity to go and see Fleetwood Mac's The Dance tour, but when my boyfriend at the time asked me what tickets I wanted to a concert that year, it was between Aerosmith 9 Lives and Fleetwood Mac The Dance. I told him either one. In secret, I was really wanting the Fleetwood Mac tickets, but he ended up getting me the Aerosmith tickets, which it was good too. And they too are not really playing out anymore because I think Steven Tyler has had some health issues. Something about really affecting his voice and stuff. But I've always loved Stevie Nicks. I've always loved Fleetwood Mac. Ever since I first knew about them anyway, I've always loved them. So since probably middle school, they're just an excellent band. I mean, all of their voices going so well together. As you know, we just lost Christine McVie. I think it was 2 years ago now. I think she passed in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. But that was a great loss to music. Her voice was just beautiful. You can go online and you know how they take the music out and it's just the vocals, and listen to Christine McVie's voice of Fleetwood Mac. It will probably make you cry. But Stevie Nicks is great too, And this look is about her today. Stevie Nicks was with Lindsey Buckingham, and as I remember, they were just kind of hanging around in the music studios and kind of a hand to the music execs. They hadn't started their own band or anything, and I don't remember how. It's been so long since I watched it, but they started meddling in music, and before you knew it, Mick Fleetwood was in with his band, and then I think the band dismantled, and he had overheard some stuff that Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie were doing together, because at the time they were dating and working in the record studio, and they just kind of all formed together. Christine McVie was from England. And I forget how she joined the band. I forget. I want to say she was like some kind of choral, more, she studied in music for, like, she was a real professional and went to a music school and was more kind of operatic. Somehow she joined the band as well. They became Fleetwood Mac. You know, I mean, you guys out there that know Fleetwood Mac probably know the story. It's been a while. I didn't realize it had been that long since I watched about the band, but they're all great. Stevie Nicks had a really unique style, obviously. Like I said, she was like the original goth girl. And I don't know if you realize this, but did you ever notice how much Stevie Nicks looks like Carrie Fisher? They're like doppelgangers. It's crazy. But it's something that I noticed. And then I went to look online. You know, like, you'll notice something, you'll go online to look about it, and other people have noticed it too. So it's, if you don't know that already, go online and look at pictures of them side by side. It's kind of crazy. They could be sisters or even twins. With Stevie, it's almost like around the eye. You're gonna go into your crease, heavy with the darker color, and then underneath your lid. And that's gonna make your eye look more round and also give it a gothy characteristic. You can already see it coming together. Just want to kind of smudge it a little bit. And then you have that white liner in there. Your eye's looking really round and you're getting that sort of goth quality about it. Ooh, didn't want to do that. Something I kind of love about Stevie Nicks, and you may have seen it in some interviews, is that she decided early on in her career that she wasn't going to have children. That she was married to her life as a musician and she didn't want to bring children into it, and not having a mom around because she was touring or whatever. She decided early on that children were not going to be in her life. And that's tough because a lot of women truly want children in their heart, but she knows that she couldn't have been the mother she wanted to be in this lifestyle, and she more or less had to choose one, and so she did. I'm going to use my finger. You know what? I think it works better than anything else. People insist on these brushes, and what I don't like about brushes is even the fluffier ones, they kind of leave a residue under your eye. And then you look like you've got a black eye. So this is good though. So that's how we're doing the eye. And then I'm going to do the other eye just like that one. So that's basically Stevie Nicks. She gets really into her crease and underneath with her shadow. And then she has kind of like a permanent frown face. So I'm going to try and draw my lip line like that. And then I'm going to fill in with the same color I used for Joni Mitchell. Alright, we're going in with the same color, and I barely have any of this color left. I think it was a hot car casualty. It kind of looks that way. Or maybe the dryer. Alright, wait till we put the wig on and everything. Let's go get our costume on. Here we have everything necessary to recreate Blondie. Now, as I was looking at her photographs from back in the 70s and even 80s and so on, her style was uniquely comfortable. It looked like she was just wearing anything anyone would wear today, back then even. T-shirts, jeans, t-shirt and shorts, you know, just very comfortable, but fashion-wise, I guess back then, she was ahead of her time in fashion because women weren't really dressing that way quite yet. They were still kind of stuck in almost a formal attire in the 70s. Some were more leisurely, but bell bottoms and things like that. She was a little more everyday, comfortable. So I have a few different options here for skirts. I had a mini skirt that's striped here. I have a leather mini skirt and some mini like hot shorts. Any one of these would work for Blondie. I'm not really sure which one I'm going to wear yet. I bought this Punk's Not Dead t-shirt on Amazon. I have a leather jacket and a blonde wig, which I may or may not wear because I have blonde hair right now. I might just rock my own hair. And then I have some fishnets and black high heels. And it's just very simple and very punk-esque. So let's get started on our makeup. Deborah Harry, Miss Blondie. I have been working with my hair a little bit. It's kind of punk. It's kind of just messy. That's kind of like the way she would have it. It was just kind of, she was actually very practical and normal. Like, all I saw her wearing was really a lot of t-shirts, shorts, jeans, activewear, what today's activewear would look like. So I think back then it was a little risque just because women weren't really quite dressing like that yet. I want to say her big contribution to fashion was that she made it okay to be comfortable. She made it cool to be comfortable. There's a lot of pictures. She's clearly not wearing a bra. Both headlights are on. Just things like that. It was sexy, but it was very normal and very, almost a tomboy too. So, Deborah Harry has really long eyebrows. Listen, you know something about Deborah Harry that I've always noticed? She's got like the biggest cranium I've ever seen. And I have a big cranium too. She's a beautiful woman, but her head is, and she's such a petite lady. Her head, she's finally grown into her head in her older age, but that head is out of control big, man. That thing is so, yeah, she's got a really big head. So, but anyway, that aside, I'm gonna do my eyebrows. She's got a really long brow. Now mine are up higher than hers. Hers kind of go down. I'm not messing with all of that. This is a decades video. It's not really I'm not trying to be these people. I'm just trying to show you some ideas and give you some inspiration for your upcoming themed party. Everybody, you know, they think of 70s and they think of like that 70s show. Let's go get some tacky stuff from the thrift store. And it wasn't just that. There was a lot of other inspiration you can draw from. All right, we're going. I'm just gonna make them longer like that. Just not quite a unibrow, but you know what I mean. I should have actually put this makeup on before I went to work today, just so I'd be ready when I got home to take pictures, but it was so nasty outside, and I'm just now getting this done. This is gonna be a late video, but I'm gonna get it out there tonight, which is Sunday. If not tonight, then tomorrow morning. I have got to get back into my groove. As you can see, I'm still not quite there yet, but it'll happen. I've got a lot of costumes ready to go and ready for this year. I have not gone anywhere and I have not given up. All right, so we've got our eyebrows lengthened some. All right, that'll work. Very sexy makeup, living doll sort of thing. So we're gonna go on to our lids with a light and into the corner of I'm just doing this with my finger. Don't come for me. And I already have foundation on, so I had done all that already. But anyway, this seems to work a lot better for me, is just to do it with my finger. So I'm going to apply this light peachy, shimmery color to my lid. This is how I've been putting on my makeup lately, because the brushes, when you get your color on a brush, and you can even tap it and it'll still get like little bitlets underneath your eye. You do it with your finger, it goes on smooth. There's none of those little bits that go below your eye. That was just me, I rubbed that. Actually, it didn't look bad. I'm gonna do it over here too. It's kind of got a gold tinge to it. I think gold is fine. Let's see, I might go over it with this other color. I am just using the, I never can remember this, the Vegan Beauty Palette from Kat Von D. It's Edge of Reality. It's anything you have that's like a shimmery nude color on the lid and in the crease here. And then we're gonna go in with a darker color for the actual crease. Now I'm just gonna wipe that on my shorts. So some other characters, people you can draw inspiration from the 70s would be Nancy Spungen. She was very punk rock. I heard that her and Blondie were friends, but Nancy Spungen was the very young girlfriend of Sex Pistols bassist Sid Vicious. And there's a whole story to that. If you've not seen Sid and Nancy, you should definitely watch it. It's a great movie. She was very fashionable. More so, I think, than even Blondie. She would always have leather jackets, leather skirts, chains and jewelry, and you know, she had real curly blonde hair, and she just looked really punk rock. And Chrissie Hynde from The Pretenders. Also, I would look into some of her fashion from back then. Now I want to do a darker color. We're gonna try it anyway. This has been one of my favorites in the palette. It's kind of like a dark black color. I think it's called, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, Abyss. So we're just gonna go right into our crease with that and kind of come out into an almond shape with your eye. Kind of like that, very sex symbol. Going out into an almond shape, and then we're gonna go up under our eyelid. She did not really do a cat eye that I could see. It was always just eyeshadow. And we're just gonna go kind of halfway with that. I'm gonna finish up this eye and then go off camera to do the other eye. We're gonna do our waterline, line our waterline with black. And that's gonna be your Deborah Harry eye. Very kind of sensual. Like, it's funny because her face was always done, from what I could see. Red lipstick, really bold face, and then clothes just kind of very simple. Now it's time to put some mascara on. Can't forget the mascara. Then we'll put some blush on, and we're gonna do a bold red lip for Blondie. Now, sometimes she's wearing like a peachy color. Sometimes it's very red. When she does the red, it's like patent leather red. It's very bright, very shiny. So that's what we're going with today. I actually do have this red lipstick called Vinyl. I don't know if it's really red. Oh yeah, it is. It's good enough. Shiny is the key with Blondie. Her lips were always shiny. I'm gonna go ahead and line my lip. Put this red lipstick on. It doesn't look that red, does it? I want it redder. Moss red. I have this stuff too, so I'm gonna do this. Hopefully I'll be able to get it off for the next costume. There we go. Little blush. We are Blondie. Let's go get dressed. Cher, a fashion icon in the 70s and even today in her 70s. What we have here is just a very cute mustard top with some mustard bell bottoms. The colors back then were very much yellows, greens, earth tones, and that was kind of like what she was going with back in the 70s. And today she's wearing more black and rhinestones, and it's very studded. And you know, as we got into the 80s and 90s, she became a lot more blingy. But I have a beanie that's also in mustard yellow. These cute little wooden shoes that I'm going to wear, and this fur vest. And that's all very Cher. Let's get started with our makeup. Now we're going to do Cher. our Cher makeup. Now, how can you have a 70s fashion icon episode without doing Cher? She spreads La Mer on her toast. That's actually, I don't know if you've ever seen RuPaul's drag show, but Chad Michaels is probably the best Cher impersonator I've ever seen. And he actually won the Snatch Game on his season, and he did Cher, and it was so awesome. I'm going to get started. Well, this stuff is stickier than I thought it would be, but it's a little darker than me, so I thought I would just put some of this. You know, she was Cherokee Indian. I think it was Cherokee, German. It was her, all of her ethnic character came from her mother's side. Let me just get this on and I'll be back. I'm actually using this is a palette that came with my bald cap kit. It's got like a bunch of different tones. I'm going with the darkest one for Cher, so it'll be kind of like I have a tan, because I'm pretty white. Now that I'm a little more tan, I'm going to do my eyebrows. I've got a black pencil, and I'm just going to try and make them a little bit thicker. If you mess up, just use your little Q-tip. Boom. Now this was the 70s, so the thicker brows were kind of in. You know, not so thin anymore. And then in the 90s, we went back to the pencil thin eyebrows. I'm just gonna look like me, dressed like Cher. Just so you know, I'm not trying to look like Cher. That's a long stretch. Now, Kim Kardashian, I'm not a fan, but she didn't do a bad job of portraying Cher one year when she went for Halloween. She did one of her most iconic looks when she was back with Sonny Bono. And this outfit is kind of loosely based on that, very loosely. It's not the same at all, but the colors and everything is a lot like what Cher wore back then. There were a lot of yellows and orange and green and more muted tones, more earth tones, and she was very much an earth tone girl back then. It wasn't until like maybe the late 70s, 80s, 90s, and then she started getting into the more elaborate, the rhinestones, the sequins, and all of that. Now I'm going in with a little bit of brown, because that was a heavy black liner that just goes on like really dark. So going with a little brown just to kind of lighten her up a little bit. Now it looked like sometimes Cher wore, she probably wore them a lot, but fake lashes. I'm not doing that tonight. But if you want to wear fake lashes, it would probably accentuate your look and your costume and make it that much better. But it's, you know, it's nighttime and I'm just not feeling that right now, so not doing it. Now I've got like this contour shade. I'm just gonna kind of go around my hairline with that. Give myself even more of a little bit of a dark look. She's not real dark, but you can definitely tell she's ethnic. She's got ethnic background, I should say. Now, if I were going out, I'd probably want to shade my arms too. You know, if I was going to portray Cher. But it's really just to get an idea of what the fashion was back then. Essentially, you can do Cher or have Cher's fashion sense without actually being Cher. You know, just having long parted hair and being basically kind of a hippie. In the 70s, everybody was, and that was the thing to do. But she was like glamour hippie, if you will. And I saw pictures of Cher, and she had kind of like a, actually I'm gonna do this on my neck too, just kind of contour a little on my neck. Maybe I can kind of shape my face a little bit. There we go. And I saw her wearing kind of like a terracotta on her eyelids, so we're gonna do that. This is coming from my Ulta Beauty palette. It has a lot of really good colors in it. I'm just putting this on with my finger. Very natural. Cher had a very natural look in the 70s. too. She wasn't quite wearing all the makeup and stuff yet. Maybe some eyelashes, some very natural looking makeup, and that was it. Nude lip, or a brown or peachy lip. I have the NYX Smooth Whips, or NYX Smooth Whips in Parfait, and I'm going to put that on my lips. Okay, I know it looks a little crazy up here. I got like a little bit of dry skin and that color just grabbed onto it. Let's go ahead and put on our costume. That's Cher. Thank you all for joining me again today. I hope you loved today's video. I know it was a little late, but I think these New Year videos, these decade videos, are kind of the hardest to get out because there's so many costumes and so much to do. So I'm so glad you joined me. I thank you very much for watching. If you guys out there are looking for inspiration as well, you can look no further than David Bowie, Elton John, Davy Jones. There's so much inspiration for the 70s out there. And to you ladies, there are other ones to choose from as well. You've got Farrah Fawcett, Bo Derek, just so much to choose from when it comes to the 1970s. It was a pivotal point in fashion history. If you liked today's video and you'd like to see more, I do have more costumes coming up in the new year. I'll have another one out in January. Until then, Happy New Year. Have a safe, blessed holiday. Relax and enjoy your family. And I hope your new year brings much prosperity, happiness, and health. That does it for today's episode. I'll see you next time.